Oh, hey, hi, how you doing there? I'm glad you came by. I wanted to talk to you again about that other story you were telling me about how your neighbor came over. Your neighbor came over and wanted to talk about Social Security. She said that, listen, I'm 62 years old. Here it is, 2022. I had my first opportunity to take Social Security, get it early at age 62. Some people are telling me, some of my friends say, get in now, get in early, and get all the money. Some are saying, no, you should, wait and defer it and wait until your full retirement age. In this case, would be age 67. And some people are saying, well, not just 67, you should wait until 70. And she says she understands that if you take it early, you get a haircut, you get less money. And if you take it after full retirement age, you get like a premium, you get more money. And she says, well, how do I determine what's best for me? And so you were telling me about what you did was you explained to her how there's basically two big considerations. And right up here is what you explained to her, right here. The two factors to consider for decide whether to take Social Security is your health. So things such as your heart disease. Do you have malignant neoplasms, which is cancer? Chronic low respiratory disease, cerebral vascular disease. Of course, your genes, your family predisposition towards diseases. And secondly, will you be working while you're drawing Social Security? Will you be working before your full retirement age? And she said, okay, I think I get it. Could you elaborate a little bit more on that? And so you said, yeah, okay, sure. What I've done is let's look at two people. Say they're sisters, like maybe Ellen and Sherry. And one elects to take the money early at age 62. Now you can take it at any age, 62, 62 and a half, 62 and three quarters, 63, 63 and a half, 63 and quarters. But I'm going to make it the earliest. Compare the 62. Now she's going to get a haircut. She's going to get less. So in this example, they get $1,000 per month, $1,000 per month. So, but for a person who takes it early, they get a smaller amount. So this first person in the column, now also in this scenario, which is up here on the board, in this scenario, they get a 1.6% cost of living increase, a COLA adjustment for inflation every year. That's an estimate, you told me. That's an estimate that you based on the last several years of adjustments. And of course, it's not, a perfect number. It's an estimate, right? So for example, the first person in age 62 elects the early, gets $8,400. And in the second year, in age 63, they get an increase of 1.6% of 8534. Their cumulative after 2 years is 16,934. Of course, the second person hasn't gotten anything yet because they didn't elect early. At age 64, they get another COLA adjustment. They're now up to 8671. Cumulatively, they're over $25,000. Now, if you go down to age 67, you can see in the second column, the sister, Sherry, she's accepted full retirement and she gets $1,000 a month or $12,000 per year. Okay, now in the early years, the person who elected early on a cumulative basis obviously is making more money cumulatively. But you can also see that there's a cutover point. The cutover point is at age 80. At age 80, the person who selected early will have a cumulative 184,806. You go across, and the second person who elected, at full retirement age, has now accumulated 106,641. So if you can live to age 80, you'll do better by staying. And then there's a secondary cutoff point, which occurs if you want to defer until age 70. Now you don't have to decide that right now, but there's a secondary consideration. If you say, made it to 67, should I stay till 70? What's my crossover point to? And you can look here at age 84, the crossover point for age 70. But you don't need to decide that right now. That's certainly true. So now what? Okay, well, I see that. What else should I do? And you told me, well, let's look at the statistics. How long do people live? So you showed me right here this National Vital Statistics Report of the United States Life Tables. Well, what's that show me? That's a little, it's a very, involved 86 page of lots of tables of life expectancy. Well, what this is an actuarial table as of year 2011, compiled and published in the year 2015, and it reads, life expectancy at this age in years. 50% of the people will die before this age and 50% will die after this age. It can't predict you exactly, but it's saying that for all the people that died, 50% died at this age, or before this age and 50% after this age. That's what the life expectancy means. Where are you going to be? Well, I don't know. But let's look at the ages. So here's a summary. Here's a summary right up here. So for example, at age 62, for the total U.S. population, when they compiled this study back in 2015, was at age 62, you would expect to live 21.5 years. So at 62 to 21, that would be what, 83 and a half years old. Okay? Then there's one at age 67, you're expected to live another 17.7 years. At age 70, you're expected to live another 15.5 years. Let's look at white males and white females. See the females at any age or higher. We go down, we can look at black males and black females. Black females live longer than black males. Actually, live longer than white females. You have Hispanic males and Hispanic females. And once again, the females are living longer. And, you know, if you look at it, the Hispanics live the longest, the whites live the second longest, and the blacks have the shortest life expectancy. So in almost all of these categories, the life expectancy at age 62 is more than the 18-year crossover point that we saw on that table. And only the category of blacks males, which has the lowest crossover point at age 62, right on the cusp of that 18-year crossover point. But this is the exact 50%. Half will die sooner and half will die later. Now, which half will you be in? I can't answer that question. What you need to go do is talk to your physician. Have a conversation with your physician. Now, this here chart you showed me is really fascinating. This has the 10 leading causes of death by age group in the United States, and this was prepared in the year 2018, before COVID, right? And if you look at it here, we can see that in the categories 55 to 64 and the category 65 plus, we see heart disease, we see malignant neoplasms, we see chronic low respiratories, we see cerebrovascular, we have diabetes, we have Alzheimer's, we have liver disease. Then down at the bottom, we have some influenza, we have a few cases of unintentional injury and suicide. So you can read those. You can see what the big items are. And that's where I suggest you be talking to your physician, right? So, okay. So, I said to you, okay, you got a lot of information, you got a lot of data here, you know, but didn't you also say something about taking the money and you're still working and you get a penalty or something? Didn't you mention that? And you said, yes, of course I did. Yes, that is the second consideration. Thank you for telling me that. Here's a slide that you put it for that too. So this slide basically says here, look, that if you're younger than full retirement age and you earn from a job or self-employment more than the yearly earnings amount, Social Security may reduce your monthly amount. Now, if you stay till full retirement age, this doesn't come into consideration. But if younger than full retirement age and you're working, you got to worry about this earnings limit. If you are under full retirement age for the entire year, Social Security may deduct $1 for every benefit payment for every $2 you earn above the annual limit. And for 2022, this annual limit is $19,560. And so I said to you, okay, lots of numbers, lots of facts there. Can you show me an example? Give me a little, hands-on numbers. And you said, sure, yeah, absolutely. So an example here, you claim Social Security before full retirement age. You work the whole year. You're entitled to $800 per month. You work and you earn $29,560 for the year. Now, this is $10,000 over that $19,560 limit in this year, 2022. So your Social Security benefits will be reduced by $5,000. That's $1 for every $2 you earned over the limit, right? So you would only receive $4,600 of Social Security this year. The $9,600, that's the $800 a month you're entitled to. Then they give you a haircut, minus $5,000. So you only get $4,600. Okay, well, that's good. I said, you're giving me lots of information, a lot to think about. Is there some kind of decision tree that would help guide me through this? And so you said, I could, you helped your neighbor. You told her, we got a decision tree that might be of help to you. And we put that right up here. So should I take Social Security at 8? Take Social Security early. That is before full retirement age. And we start with the default. The default is not to take early, to defer. Why? Because the crossover point for the lifetime benefits is in almost all cases greater than the mortality table. And secondly, there may be a reduction of your benefits if you're working and taking that Social Security. However, there are times when the default is wrong and you should choose early benefits. Well, what are those situations? Well, if you and your physician determine that because of your medical condition, you may be in the 50% of the people in your age group that may be in that lower 50%. That may expire prior to that average in the mortality tables. Remember that chart? Heart disease, malignant neoplasm, chronic low respiratory disease, cerebrovascular disease. I'm not a physician. A physician should be talking to you about this. These conditions and others may make early benefits the superior economic choice. Secondly, you know what? You may need to work. I don't know your economic situation. You may need to work and take Social Security benefits. You may need both of those things in order to survive. Take your benefits and work. And certainly the first $19,560 in earnings comes without penalty. And, you might need that money to live. And that would be a smart economic decision. Okay, so I told you, wow, that's a lot of information. Let me see if I get this straight. The decision would be based on two things. It would be based on your health and whether you, really need that money early in order to take the money and work, because there's a penalty there. And you said, yes, that's exactly it. And so I said, well, okay, well, that's great. You explained it to me. There's so much here. There's so much information. You helped a person go through all that information, make a decision what's based on them, perhaps understanding their health benefits, consulting with a physician. And you took a really complex issue, dove through the numbers, looked at the actuarial tables, factored in inflation, got the crossover point. You know what? This is why you are one ace accountant. And I'm going to give you a big round of applause for that. All right.